Thank you. That's quite the introduction. So thank you all for coming here today. It's getting quite late in the afternoon, so I appreciate it that you still made the effort to come out here. I'm very happy to be sharing this stage today with one of my favorite agency partners. Oh, do we have a clicker? Oh, yeah. Otherwise, you could be staring at our photos. Yeah, here we go. So I would like to start with a little introduction of both of our companies before we go to the agenda for the session today.
Thank you. So, hi, I'm Arron Moss from 01. We're a Magento agency formed in 2000. Been working with Magento solely since around about 2010. And yeah, in the last 10, 15 years, we've worked predominantly with open source, and over the last 2 years been devoted to Hyvä, like many others.
Yeah, so that's us. We're a Magento 2 front-end solution. You might have seen our name pop up left and right in the marketplace today. We've got quite a number of fans here, which is great. We're a complete rebuild of the Magento 2 front-end, focusing mostly on performance and developer experience. We've been around since 2020 and have grown rapidly since. We've also developed a couple of additional products like the Hyvä checkout, which will be the focus of today's session. So today we're going to talk you through this amazing idea that these two guys had, and when they first shared it with me, I became very enthusiastic because it's just so wonderful to see like what the kind of creativity has sparked our partners to do with our technology. So today we're going to talk about a point of sales that these guys have developed that is based on our technology, so on Hyvä checkout and Matrewire. First, Arron is going to explain to you a little bit like how did the idea come to fruition, like what different considerations were there to be made before he came to develop an MVP, and then Sean is going to talk a little bit about the build itself, how does it work, what does it look like, and then we'll wrap up with a nice surprise for you all. So hope you're in for a ride. Here we go, Arron. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think the first thing to note is that the Hyvä product over the last year, 2 years has gained significant recognition as a product that drives a front-end solution website forward in many ways from a technological perspective. Now, what we've realized through 2023 is that cost and time saving as a business has really afforded us the opportunity to have much deeper conversations with our merchants, our customers, and in many cases, that's led to new conversations, it's led to new opportunities, and it's led to better relationships with those customers, and in some cases, discussions around new areas and new opportunities, and point of sale has come up more than once. So we took the opportunity really to capitalize and think whether it was possible to, in a simplistic sense, use the Magento front end as a point-of-sale tool. What that led on to was a thinking process after listening to some customer pains in both the UK and the US, was the simplistic approach as whether we could implement a POS using a standard Magento web store front end. So we started there and we thought simple, unified, and in that case, what would be the bare minimum feature set to constitute a functional POS that people could use? The opportunity here was, with one customer in mind, could we implement this cost effectively enough using the right technology? And if so, could that be a product that we share elsewhere, go commercial, or in this case, make the bold move to go open source? And we did the latter. So at this point, we're defining MVP, minimum viable product. We wanted it to be low cost. We had listened to, at this point, more than one customer and understood through their existing relationships and pains with existing POS systems on the market that synchronization between Magento and a point of sale was increasingly challenging as the complexities of those two systems grew. So we thought, well, if we have a simplistic product approach that was both flexible and open source, this may well be a proposition that others may adopt and customize to their needs. So yeah, we went on to define MVP. It had to be built off Hyvä, and it absolutely had to be built off Hyvä Checkout, simply because of the production cost and flexibility and speed, not only of Hyvä themes, but with Hyvä Checkout and MageWire, we were able to consider and build an MVP product in the time it took us to conceptualize the ideas. So it was a really fast process. And built on Magento open source, we felt that this would then encourage other retailers to consider it as an option and therefore introduce their own customizations according to their specific business needs.
So what I think is really cool about this story is that when we built Hyvä, we really had the developer experience in mind. Our founder, Willem Wigman, who you might know, was very frustrated with the Luma front end, as many other developers are, and this has caused a lot of frustration, but also stagnation in the Magento development. So one of the things that we thought, if we just rebuild the entire front end, then make the developer experience pleasant again, we can have innovation. And that's exactly what happened here, is because, as Arron just described, they have so much extra time on their hands now that they built everything with Hyvä, they can actually take their time to use their creativity to come up with new ideas. And if you would have suggested building a POS of Luma Checkout 2 years ago, people would have laughed you in the face, and we would definitely not be up here. But Hyvä Checkout and MageWire has actually made this possible. So yeah, I would like to now give the floor to Sean so he can share a little bit about how it's built and what it does exactly.
Hello. So the first thing we did was we built a new website in Magento. Now, excuse me. One of the core features of Open POS is restricted access, so you can only access the front end from the admin panel, so it's safe and secure at all times. The next thing we did was create a walk-in customer account. So this is pretty common practice for EPOS systems, where you create a customer account and it just saves you having to fill any billing address details in when you get to the checkout process. So part of the Open POS is in the admin system, we've got two options. We can enter the POS as a customer, and we can enter the POS as a guest. So we enter the POS, and this is our dashboard. It's a child theme of Hyvä, obviously. So this is our dashboard. It's fully customizable. You can do whatever you want with it, but we've kept it super basic because we see little to no interaction at all with this page, because we're going to be scanning barcodes. So if you've been to our booth, you'll have seen our setup, but if you haven't, this is what it is. We've got Arron's iPad, a little Bluetooth printer, and this little Bluetooth barcode scanner. So this barcode scanner cost us about 80 quid, about $100. And this were really important to us to keep cost to an absolute minimum, because if you're looking at other EPOS systems as a merchant, you're paying $4 or $5 grand for your hardware. You're paying $200-300 a month for your poor maintenance. And it's just not the case at all with Open POS. It's open source, it's free. There's no ongoing monthly costs. So we've got our beautiful 80 quid barcode scanner. We've got a product, scan the product, and boom, it's in your basket. So you just scan away, basket updates, fill your heart, I don't know. Keep scanning till your heart's content, that's what I'm looking for. So this was all done with MageWire. So we created a new MageWire component, which is the field you see at the very top of the iPad. And how that works is the barcode scanner scans the barcode, and then it passes the barcode value into that MageWire component with a return character. MageWire listens for that return character, and then it can run checks against the barcode value. And then in this case, it picks that product from the inventory, adds it straight to your basket, and yeah, all good. Just keep going. But because MageWire is really flexible in the sense that it's sat there waiting, we can do other things with it. So one of the features that we've got is custom pricing. So we've got a custom barcode which is configured in admin system, and if we scan that, MageWire will detect this needs a custom price. It'll show a field, and then we can edit the price, enter it, and it'll add that product at your custom price to the quote. And this was all done in a single MageWire class. No page reloads, no custom JavaScript, just one single MageWire class. So yeah, we've got our product in our basket, and this is probably my favourite part of Open POS. Cashier reminders. So this all works with core Magento. They are static blocks that are triggered by widgets. Now we found a module that allows you to show static blocks based on conditions. So in this case here, we've got a Fjallraven product in our basket, and our basket is over $200. So these two reminders come up. The bottom one, get a free hat when you spend over $200, because that's triggered because our basket's over 200. And the top one is exclusive access to the new collection that's coming in stores online. So these two reminders that the cashier can tell the customer, they're walking away from that experience not knowing about these before, and it's just really enhancing that omni-channel experience. They're going to walk away, they're going to interact with you at that point online to get the benefits. It could be late registration, discounts when you log in. And then one important part to note about this is it's not just tied to your basket, so we've got pre and post cashier reminders, so you can put them on the checkout success page or on the basket. The next part was a HeadWorks gift cards module, so we installed that, the Hyvä compatibility module. Works out the box. Now, I wanted to point this out because we needed to make a couple of changes to this. So we wanted to focus on the field to reduce clicks for a cashier operator. And there was just no difference at all to how I went about this as a front-end dev. If it works with Magento, there's no change, there's no Open POS compatibility modules that you need to create, nothing like that. It's just standard Magento Hyvä work. Have we just skipped one?
No, nice.
Okay. And then, the next part, tendering, cash tendering. So we've got credit, debit card, cash, and split payments. Again, all done with MageWire because it's rather beautiful. And then the last part of the checkout process is custom receipts. So these, again, configured in admin for the most flexibility for merchants. And we see the QR codes at the bottom. Now this is another really powerful way to interact with your customers and enhance the omni-channel experience, because, well, the QR codes, the power of these is limited to your imagination, basically. So again, that could be a late registration. It could be a link to receive 10% off if you log in. It could be a link to a page that's relative to the products the customer's just bought. And it's just really powerful. So yeah, that's the build, and it's really important to note that this took us a week, one single week. We were actually able to build the features as we were defining them because of that time that Arron mentioned that we get back from Hyvä and Hyvä checkout, because it's so quick to develop with. We're able to take a step back, I think, and yeah, just work on our feet basically. Sorry, that's the build.
Yeah, great. So imagine what they can do in like a year from now when we're here again, if they can build something like that in a week. What I really like about it, and I can't stress enough, is that there's nowadays a lot of talk about unified commerce or omni-channel experiences, and a lot of people are held back from that because of all the extra complexity that comes with integrating different systems. And this is actually doing exactly that by simplifying the process. Because you're not using different systems for offline and online, you're using the same. It's all Magento, it's all MageWire, and so you can have that seamless experience between online and offline by actually reducing complexity, which we as Hyvens really love. So I would like to hand over again to Arron so he can show some results from reality.
Yeah, so we had a particular customer in mind to, I guess, use as a guinea pig for a trial exercise in November last year. So this is, as Sean says, this was only approximately 1 week after we defined the minimum features for the product. The trial was easy in the sense that we were able to pick a customer that was already on Hyvä, already on Hyvä Checkout, already on Magento Open Source, latest version 2.4.6, and a single store retailer. So, and the hardware in terms of iOS device, standard, keyboard wedge, Bluetooth scanner, receipt printer, all compatible. So we were then able to run this as a trial and still have the existing EPOS system as a fallback. That was a 1-week trial on the 13th of November, and the feedback was great in the sense that there were a couple of easy issues to fix. User interface where the touch device wasn't as slick in terms of editing cart quantities. User interface issue really quite easy to cover. And as Sean mentioned, overriding prices, which for a retailer is in many cases important if a product has been brought to the counter that you may need to discount, sell for a different price, damaged, and so on. And that whole loop was little more than a week to then define those features and then reapproach MVP. And really, I think it's on now to discuss the back-end developer experience in terms of one of our senior engineers, Callum, and how he felt about the work that he undertook using MageWire specifically.
Yeah, so this is Callum. What a legend. Just look at him. Look how happy he looks. I love him. He's brilliant. He's the senior engineer at 01. He's only a baby. He's 25 years old. He's super intelligent. And if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have Open POS. He's just a legend. So yeah, he did all of the MageWire stuff, working together on a project. And I just wanted to share this bit of developer feedback. Hold on. Yeah, so we're working on, Callum were working on the barcode scanning. I were doing some colouring in. We jumped on a call and I asked Callum and I said, how difficult were it to write the barcode scanning feature? using MageWire, and this is what he said. Oh man, it was so easy, it felt like cheating. And it really does, because, I'll just see my notes. It really sums up the impact that Hyvä Checkout and MageWire has had on us, because it was just foreign to us to have this time, because before, like, it'd take you 8 years to make a single change on Luma Checkout. You'd just be firefighting performance issues all the time. And it just, since we've had Hyvä Checkout and MageWire, it's like we've got breathing space, and that's why it feels like cheating to us. So yeah, that's the last one on the little timeline, and that brings us to today.
So yeah, today is, as of about 40 minutes ago, the official release of our first open source project, Open POS, which was tagged earlier today at 1.0, fully open source. We kind of encourage feedback, questions. We've had some amazing feedback already yesterday and today, with some really kind of interesting conversations around custom functionality from some large retailers. One in particular, I think, was a couple of hours ago with the booth concept, the kind of self-service registers, and we were like, wow, yeah, I mean, that's almost possible. So what we are already doing is building a roadmap for minimum viable features to be introduced to the product, and also potentially more complex, potentially commercial products that can be bolted on for those retailers that need something more complex, such as warehousing management, mass barcode printing systems, and so on. So yeah, we hit 1.0, and we welcome questions and feedback.
I think they deserve some applause for this. So yeah, if you've got any questions, be happy to take.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
My guest.
So you guys found a new use case for Hyvä technology, which is really great. You build it from an agency perspective. Is there any lessons learned from this project that you can transfer to your regular projects?
Yes, I think the simple answer is with one particular technology that we adopted here, which is what we call late registration. So some people may be familiar with that term, but it was introduced into Magento Core relatively recently, maybe 2 or 3 years old, which is the opportunity on the checkout success page to entice that a guest customer may register, and then that can reciprocate and convert that sale into a customer. We thought that as an opportunity is often forgotten. With point of sale, actually it can be empowered, because if we use the late registration core functionality and feed that functionality from a QR code, which the receipts can have, then we can tie a link back that may have been scanned 6 months after the order was purchased from the store, bring them back to a custom page, which can have curated content. It can have promotional information to entice the customer then to register, and it can then tie back to that original guest sale and be empowered with that data from that sale and convert it into real customers. So it's the notion of converting a one-time customer to a long-time customer is very much empowered from what is largely core Magento.
Yeah, nice one, thanks.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Okay, well, thank you all. In case you want to know more about Hyvä, our customer, Julia from Bar Display, is actually our joint customer. She's speaking in the business track right now, so she's going to share some insights there too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.